Luc Bouchard from Freedom Seeker Coaching here, and this is my video blog. And today's video is a follow-up from yesterday's video, which I did on core values, and it's based on a question that comes from Jacqueline Green. And Jacqueline Green is the founder and host of The Great Parenting Show, and here's the URL to that, and I really encourage you to check it out. All those people that want to be better parents, she has incredible expertise in the area of parenting, and I really encourage you to check out her website. Her question to me from yesterday's video log was, one thing I'm curious about is how you recommend dealing with a co-parent who has different core values. It is ideal if people identify their core values before getting married and having kids, but unfortunately it's common that people become parents without having discussed their core values. And to begin with, thank you very much for sending this in, Jacqueline, and I absolutely agree with what you say, is that parents or people will get married and not understand that they have very different beliefs on things that you think they would have talked about before. And this is why I think there is some religions out there that want the people to take their classes before they actually will allow them to marry in their church to uncover some of these beliefs and whatnot. And I'm sure many different religions do it. I'm not a proponent of one over the other, but that's the benefit of those courses, is that that's an uncovering of those core values, and I think that's really valuable. So to Jacqueline's question, and that is how you deal with a parent who has different core values. Well, it starts with, like everything else, when you have conflicts in relationships, and that is, just good communication and having good communication. And it is starting with a question about what the other person actually believes when it comes to things like, I don't know, how you deal with managing behavior, how you choose to either you engage in corporal punishment or natural and logical consequences, and those are very different approaches to how you actually deal with kids. And one is, spare the rod, spoil the child, as I mentioned in my previous video, and the other is really about trying to teach your children not to engage in bad behaviors around logic and having them understand that. So the other thing that's really important to understand when it comes to co-parenting with someone else is that men and women have very different entry points when it comes to actually parenting and how they see the world. And I'm going to do another video log down the road on this particular point. I'm not sure when I'm going to do it, but I will talk about the differences between men and women on how they see the world and how they actually go about parenting and what they will do with actually how much risk takers they are, or how much they will how they correct behaviors and whatnot. So it starts with communication, and then it goes on to understanding that both parents, both men and women, see the world very differently when it comes to parenting. And then it's really about having an open and frank discussion and some dialogue about having about understanding why that other parent sees it that way. And having different core values is not necessarily a bad thing, but it can be problematic if you don't know that there's this inherent conflict. And where it really becomes problematic, specifically with raising kids, is that there's a lot of value, a lot of assumptions. There's a lot of presuppositions that are made that are laden with negative values on that. So, you'll hear parents say, well, my mother will say, well, he always does this, and that's not okay. And the fathers may, say something along the lines of, well, she always does this. And there is this judgment that comes on the other parent on how they will parent, and that's when it becomes problematic. As you know, if you ever want to engage or ever want to piss a parent off, it's just tell them how to raise their kids, and you'll very likely get a reaction. And there's another example of how there's a conflict in values, because you have one person think that they can say and weigh in on how another person parents their kids. I spent 10 years working in residential treatment facilities for children that were 11 years and younger. And these were kids that couldn't end up in foster care because they had suffered so much neglect or abuse. And that is a large foundation of what I draw from my background of working with people and whatnot. And something a supervisor once told me that I believe to be quite true, or is even a truism, is that acting out children are just standing on their parents' shoulders. And what that means is that when you see kids playing their parents off each other, that will often come around from the parents not being clear with each other what their core values are. And then you have all this kind of acting out behavior and manipulation from the children because they're just trying to get their needs met. Stay tuned for another video log. There's going to be more coming on a regular basis. I plan on doing these not daily, but on a very frequent basis. And thank you very much for watching. My name is Luc Bouchard. My coaching service is Freedom Seeker Coaching, and I encourage you and all my clients to find your truth and live a free and glorious life. You take care. Please subscribe to this video and like it also. Bye now.